After, after drawing the boundary of our side, the next step is basically drawing the edge of the road right here. So I'm going to go back to my drawing, and I know that based on this drawing that my edge of the road basically started 10 feet apart from this. I mean, we can skip the extension from this edge to this side at this moment, and then I will show you how to fix that later on. So I'm going to go over here, and this time instead of using a regular line, which you are by now very familiar with, we're going to use another tool called Polyline. You can access to the Polyline command from this menu draw down here, and then Polyline, or you can just type PL, and that's bring your Polyline command for you. Then I want to zoom in that point, and I want to start it kind of activating that endpoint, and then from that point, as you can see when I move my mouse down here, it shows extension from that line and it shows the distance, and I want that distance to be exactly 10 feet. I'm going to type 10 feet, and that's going to be giving my first point. Now I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to go all the way to this side, and I'm going to turn the forward tracking on, so it's going to be on the right angle. But you see, I still have freedom to go along, so it's not the ortho, it's the polar tracking. So then I will add the distance from the first point. I know by the fact that the other edge from this line here is going to be 10 feet, and I know the length of my property, so it's going to be 260 feet from there. And then from here, I'm going to go all the way up to this point. And again, if I zoom in, I use this endpoint as my track, and then using the intersection of these two, that gives me the right place for that point. When I'm done, you see that if I select this line, this is not like a multiple line, it's a polyline started from here and there. And there are many applications to use the polyline. One of the application is that you basically want to know the length, and if you have a separate line, then when you get into the properties, so let me just turn on the properties. When I get to the properties, you see that the properties give me the length, give me the area that is covered, and everything. If I have it only as the multiple line, then I have to add all the lengths of different lines. So it becomes very helpful when you are doing the estimate of the, for example, let's say the surface. You have like a surface of the room that you want to do this like a ceramic tile, and you want to order the ceramic tile, and you want to get the dimension of the area, and then you can draw the boundary around that room, and that basically give you that dimension that you want. So it becomes very helpful. And another helpful things that you can get from the polyline is that you can give the polyline a thickness that you couldn't give it to like line. So let's just start from another polyline, and then here, after I click somewhere here in my drawing, you see that I have option of like a width at the end of this. So I'm gonna click on the width, and you see that the width at this moment is 0. It's like, as you can see, it's a default, it's a 0. So I'm going to put the 10 feet as a value for that. And then it is specify the ending width. So the starting and ending width can be different. So if I click on that, you see that when I draw a line alongside, it gives some sort of a thickness to that line, which is very helpful because sometimes there are some areas that you want to represent your data, and that's become a very helpful tool. Let's go back here and then change the width. This time I'm going to change this starting at 0 and the end as 10, or let's say make it a little larger, so it's going to be 20. And as you can see, that's give me like some sort of a angled like a width, which is very helpful in the right application. Then I click here, and all of a sudden like a polyline, it's getting back to the default, which means that the end and the starting width is going to be the same. So let's go back here, and I'm gonna go and click on width, and I'm gonna change that one to 0 and 0. Okay, now in the middle of my drawing, let's say this is my area of the room. In the middle I have some sort of an arc, and I want to draw some sort of an arc in my drawing. If I was drawing a line, I have to get back to line, get back here, and then draw an arc, and then again starting from line. But in the polyline, I can just easily switch from arc. So I'm gonna go here, and as you can see, this is like basically the arc, and there are multiple way of like giving the arc value, and we're just like going for the simple one at this moment, and you're gonna draw this arc up here. And then when you have that option, then you basically say that you are done with your polyline. You want to close that polyline, so you're gonna go here and then close it. Or if you want to get back to drawing a line, there is the option of line, so you click on the line, and that's going to give you another just switching back to the line. So whenever you are done with your drawing and you want to close it, you just click on the close, and it automatically connect the last piece to the first one. And as you can see, when I select it, under my properties, I have the length. So imagine this was my shape of the like a room. Good luck to calculating that. That's going to be taking you a lot of time. But just drawing the boundary of that room, with the polyline, you get the square inches. I mean, this is the setting for this, but we can switch that one to square feet. Or here we go, the square feet of that, and the length of this, and all of a sudden give you a lot of information that is very helpful.